Hey, y'all, this is not financial advice. This is financial awareness. And I want to tell you what happens to your 401k once you check up out of here. And you might be surprised to hear this information, and you may want to take some serious, extreme actions right now, today, after you find out this information. Look, I've been working in the title business for years, and I've had my fair share of reading probates, and I have a pretty good knowledge about probate, especially in Texas. And I've never saw a 401k listed inside of a probate for it to be distributed between heirs or this, that, and the other. The reason why that you don't see that is similar to a life insurance policy. You don't A life insurance policy is not going to go to a individual in the probate. I mean, because you haven't died yet, you really don't own the money yet. It's not yours, so you can't give it away. When the benefit pays when you die, it goes directly to heirs. That's similar to what 401ks are. They have you to list the beneficiary when you set this thing up. And with that being said, a lot of us, you need to go over your information that you have, your beneficiaries, periodically. One of the issues is a wife, for example. A wife, if you are married, that wife is automatically listed as the beneficiary, and it is by a federal rule, federal law. So the wife is going to get your 401k. And in addition to that, if you want it to go to someone other than your wife, the wife has to sign off on that. And of course, if you got remarried or something like that, that rule will apply to the latest wife that you have. So if you had children from a previous marriage or whatever the situation may be, they still have to sign off on it. So you're going to have to make sure that when you have these different things to go on in life, that's one of the things, like if you go and get married and your wife, your current wife, no matter how long it's been, if you die, that 401k money is going to her, and you may want it to go to your kids or whatever. So that's something to pay particular attention to make sure your beneficiaries are well accounted for on your 401ks. Because you definitely don't want to work for a company 30 years ago, and you were married 30 years ago and got a divorce, and she's still listed as a beneficiary, and you never got remarried, and then you die. I mean, nobody wants their ex that sent them through whatever it is to make them get a damn divorce to get that kind of money. So make sure that you send that, make sure you get that taken care of, and that your money is specifically accounted for when you die. Now, like I said, if you're going to leave it to children or part of it to children or someone other than a spouse, the spouse has to sign off on it. And say, for instance, if you did sign off on that, when the money goes to the children, there's also rules on that. One of the rules is that they have to take the money out within a specified period of time, 10 years. They got 10 years to take it out. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because if you had like $1 million off in your account and you passed away and your child has that, in fact, I'm going to put a chart right here so you can see this. So on this short chart, it's just showing you how much you pay taxes on monies, and it's a stair step. You pay 10% from this amount to another amount. Then you pay 12% from that amount up to another amount, and then it just stair steps all the way up to 37%. And that 37% is like I want to say over $600,000. So forgive me, I don't have the chart right here in front of me, but I'm gonna put the chart up here so you can see. So you want to avoid that. So they give you 10 years. So if you had $1 million and you take out $100,000 a year, then it's cheaper on the taxes for them. Another thing about the 401k tax money is if it's a wife They got rules on that. They will allow the wife, especially if she's within a 10-year range, I believe, they're allowed the wife to continue that, uh, withdraw that during their lifetime. They can basically keep it and then continue to just draw down on it however you were drawing down on it until their lifetime. So at any rate, there are specific rules that apply. There could be some changes here and there, but your money goes to your spouse if you are married, and if it doesn't go to a spouse, it goes to the beneficiary that you requested on the that you put down when you fill out your beneficiary forms. That they are adamant about having you to have that information in the system, so if something happens, it can transfer over. They don't want to be dealing with no type of probates or anything when it comes down to the taxes. They want their taxes, so they want that immediately, and they don't want it tied up in no type of probate proceeding. So that's one of the reasons why they do that. So yeah, so in a nutshell, the money is going to go to your spouse, and if you or whatever other beneficiary, if you're not married or whatever, and then they have a limited amount of time to take that money out for tax purposes. Now, another situation with the money coming out with your children, for non-spouse or children. Now, this money here is going to be taxed at ordinary income tax, which is the highest tax out there. So, to give you an example of what's going on, the taxes that your child is already paying, or whoever is your beneficiary, the money that they are already making, the money from that they get from you out of the 401k is also going to be taxed at ordinary income. So it's going to make it seem like, let's say your beneficiary is making $100,000 for a year, example. You would go to the chart and see how much money that is that they're making, and they're taking out $100,000 out of your account per year to get to that $1 million being withdrawn. That is going to add $100,000 to their income. So that's going to make it seem like they're making $200,000, which is going to kick them up in the brackets to pay more taxes. So that's going to be a lot more taxes taken out. So that's why people try to do certain things. They may convert over to a Roth IRA, pay the taxes right up front, convert all over to a Roth IRA, so the money can grow tax free. And when it's taken out by your beneficiary, they don't have to pay any taxes. But like I said, when you convert to a Roth, you're paying all the taxes up front, so that could take your $1 million portfolio down to like $670,000, because you got to pay the taxes on that. So that's one of the drawbacks of that. I don't want to get into the Roth right now because I want to make a specific video detailing the Roth IRA and some of the pitfalls and things that you have to deal with on that. Anyway, like I said, just want you to be aware of this stuff. It's not a financial advice. This is just the rules. I don't make them up. Just trying to live through them, pass them over to you, and I'll see y'all in the next video.